So it wasn't too long ago that it was basically impossible to get a CCW in most parts of California. And now, not only can you get a CCW all over California, but if you're not a resident of California, you can get a California CCW. California doesn't recognize any other CCWs. They have no reciprocity with any other state. In order for you to carry concealed in California, you have to have a CCW. So FPC came up with a lawsuit, the Hoffman versus Bonta lawsuit, and they said, hey, if you're requiring that they have a CCW and you're not allowing out-of-state people to get a CCW, then you're infringing on their right to bear arms. Well, they won the lawsuit. The Hoffman versus Bonta lawsuit challenged California's prohibition on out-of-state residents receiving carry licenses. The Hoffman order issued by the United States District Court for the Southern District of California allows non-residents to apply for CCW licenses in California. This ruling is significant and it ensures that individuals maintain their Second Amendment rights to keep and bear arms when they cross California's border. That's from the FPC website where they talk about their lawsuit. The case is part of FPC's strategic litigation program aimed at eliminating unconstitutional laws and creating a world of maximal liberty, which is awesome. So they filed this lawsuit, the Hoffman lawsuit, and that was their complaint. And it was successful. And the court said, hey, you got to start issuing these permits to people from out of state. So we've been getting inquiries, here and there. It definitely benefits California in the long run to have more CCWs issued. And I think it's going to benefit Californians to have more non-Californians apply for CCWs because they have to make a process that out-of-state people can follow. And if they do that, it's just going to make our process even easier to follow. So, and we're already seeing that. We're already seeing that happen to an extent, and I'm already looking into my crystal ball, and I think it's going to be even better, a year, 2 years, 3 years from now for Californians because all these out-of-state folks have started to get their CCW issued, but mainly because Hoffman versus Bonta was a success. So I'm very happy about that. Now, our friends, so how do you do it? That's the big question. How do you do it? What do you got to do? What's the process, And we've been so busy making sure that people in California can get their permit that I haven't spent a lot of time figuring out exactly what the process is laid out. And the courts were very thorough. They didn't just, stop and say, all right, great, you got to start issuing, let us know how it goes. They made sure that the state of California had a process in place and that these things were actually happening. So our friend at Active Self-Protection, ASP, John Correa, actually went through the process. Rather than recreate the wheel, I want you to go check out, we're going to have a link to his video below, but he does not live in California. He lives in Arizona, and he wanted a California license for when he visited California. And so let's just show a little bit of his video.
So yeah, I am originally from the great state of California, but I don't live there anymore. Those of you who know, if you've been around Aspa a while, I live in Phoenix, Arizona. But we have family in California. My sister lives there. My dad lives there. My wife has family there. And I'm in California not irregularly. And of course, they do not recognize any out-of-state permits. And they weren't providing out-of-state non-resident permits at all. Well, then there was a court case that, again, I've put links in the description on stuff that the Ninth Circuit said, no, you need to do that. That's an important thing that you have to do. And so in particular, I started then looking around and going, which county should I apply in? Well, because they're issued by the county sheriff, or they can be issued by chiefs of police of cities as well. And once you have one in one county, it's good for the entire state.
So he goes on to say that he went to the county of Fresno and is going through the process. I want you to check out his video. We're going to have a link to his video. Check this out. If you're from out of state or you know anybody from out of state and they're interested in getting their California CCW, watch this video. But if you're not familiar with ASP and John Correa, I want you to subscribe to his channel as well. They provide great information on defensive gun use. He's a great instructor. He's a very interesting guy. He deserves your subscription, especially for going and taking the time to apply from out of state and then putting it up on on his website. So check out his video. It's more than one part. This is what we just showed you was a short snippet of the first part of his process. Follow the process. You want to make sure that you apply. I think you should probably go through Fresno, like he said, if you have some kind of reason for being in Fresno. But if you have a choice between counties, you want to make sure that you don't go to some county that has some crazy rules like no red dots and other stuff that's just going to have to get litigated or voted out. You want to make sure that you're going to a county that'll respond to you. You know, LA County is taking forever right now if they're issuing at all. And you want to make sure that when you take the class, you use that county's particular vendor list when it comes to how to get your CCW. So in other words, at some point they're going to say, great, you need to take a 16-hour class. So you have to go through the vendor list from that county. Make sure you do that. All that's going to be explained in John Correa's videos. Go to his link. Again, like ASP, start watching his videos. He does a great job. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and ask us. We'll do our best. We wanted to make sure that you had the resources you need to be successful. So there you go. If you're from out of state, that's how you apply for your CCW in California. Hey, thanks for watching Gun Owners Radio. I hope you loved that clip. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and follow us on social media. And check out our website at gunownersradio.com.